Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we cut through the noise and give you that quick, fascinating shortcut to being, well, deeply informed.
That's the goal.
And today, put on your thinking caps, maybe a jaunty fedora if you have one handy. We're diving deep into the colossal, the truly gigantic, 4-decade career of John Flansburgh and John Linnell.
The core, of course, of They Might Be Giants,
Yeah.
TMBG.
Exactly, that pioneering alternative rock band.
Right, and TMBG is really, you could say, a masterclass in controlled eccentricity, their signature style. It's just instantly recognizable, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Surreal, intensely witty.
And often experimental,
Yeah.
Defined by Flansburgh's very distinctive guitar work and then Linnell's unconventional instruments.
Like the accordion, woodwinds.
Yeah, stuff that essentially just rejects the standard rock lineup altogether.
Okay, let's unpack this then. We hear that term geek rock thrown around a lot with TMBG, but they were really trailblazers, weren't they? Making intellectual curiosity sound, well, commercially viable.
That's a great way to put it.
So, our mission today, chart the course of the Johns. We'll look at their surprisingly structured backgrounds right through to their breakthrough successes. We're going to focus on that unique partnership they have, how complementary they are, and the groundbreaking tech they basically invented.
Dial-A song. Can't talk TMBG without it.
Exactly. And then their stunning pivot into children's music, which nobody saw coming.
Well, maybe some people did, given their style.
Fair point. And just how these two high school friends turn into this multimedia powerhouse, Grammy-winning, redefining how bands even connect with their fans.
And for you, the listener, this isn't just, a band history.
No.
It's really a shortcut.
Mm-hmm.
A way to understand how creative control, that sort of entrepreneurial thinking, and just sheer persistence let TMBG not just survive the music industry.
Which is brutal.
Ooh, incredibly. But how they actually built their own kind of sovereign musical nation.
Love that. Okay, let's start right at the beginning then. Section 1. The parallel lives and unique partnership of the Johns.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here, I think, is that while they ended up being this near-perfect creative synthesis, their initial paths, they show two really distinct individuals, both driven, it seems, by structure and creativity, sort of destined to intersect.
They were born just a year apart, right? Linnell in 59, Flansburgh 60.
That's right.
Both kind of in that New York, Massachusetts orbit. And they first crossed paths way back, attending Lincoln-Sudbury Regional High School in Lincoln, Massachusetts.
But it wasn't like instant band formation.
No, the sources say their early collaboration was pretty casual, just, occasional home recording projects, nothing like the foundation we know today.
And the sources, they really reveal a lot about the different worlds they came from, which maybe explains why they eventually took on such complementary roles in the band.
Okay, like how?
Well, look at John Flansburgh. He was born in Lexington, Massachusetts, into this really established, very visible kind of environment.
Right, his dad was an architect.
A major Boston architect, Earl Flansburgh. And his mother, Polly Flansburgh, she founded and was president of Boston by Foot, the historical organization. Very respected.
Okay, so that immediately suggests a background that's rooted in, creation, organization.
And navigating the public eye. Exactly.
Which makes total sense for the John who became the band's main strategic manager, the public face, really.
And his academic path kind of reflects that too, right? That search for structure within the arts. He went to George Washington University, Antioch College.
And then graduated from Pratt Institute. Prestigious place with an arts degree in 82.
And we also know he learned guitar, working a pretty unusual job for a future rock star.
Oh, yeah.
Parking garage attendant.
No way. That's amazing. Okay, so that's Flansburgh. What about Linnell?
Meanwhile, John Linnell, born in New York City, son of a psychiatrist, and his early musical influences, they really show you where TMBG's specific lyrical genius comes from.
Like what?
He was apparently deeply impressed by Walt Kelly's Songs of the Pogo album.
Ah, okay. The comic strip guy.
Yeah. And specifically, he was drawn to its heavy use of puns, political satire, wordplay.
That sounds familiar.
Exactly. That early love for high concept, intellectual absurdity, but paired with these really infectious melodies, that became Linnell's signature style. You can hear it right from the start.
And Linnell actually tried to make a go of music earlier, right? Wasn't he in another band?
Yeah, he played keyboards and sax in a new wave band called the Mundanes.
The Mundanes. Great name.
Isn't it? But he actually dropped out of UMass Amherst to pursue music seriously with them. The thing is, the Mundanes, they failed to get a record deal. And that failure, sources suggest, kind of made him receptive to trying a completely different approach later on.
And that different approach was sealed by, well, it sounds like fate, honestly.
It really does.
Yeah.
TMBG was officially co-founded in 1982, after they'd been apart for a bit. Linnell and Flansburgh reunited in New York City.
Right.
And just by sheer coincidence, they ended up moving into the exact same apartment building on the exact same day in Park Slope, Brooklyn.
That's unbelievable. That sounds like something out of one of their songs, almost.
Doesn't it? Like a logistical miracle. So, They Might Be Giants was born out of that reunion. And the name itself, it's steeped in that intellectual background they share.
Taken from the 1971 film with George C. Scott.
Yep. Which itself references Don Quixote, mistaking windmills for, evil giants.
So what did they mean by it?
Well, Flansburgh clarified it. He said the name referred to the outside world of possibilities that they saw as this fledgling band, all the potential they were trying to grasp. It's really a statement about perception and ambition.
Huh. Interesting. And before they settled on TMBG, they even had another name.
Temporarily.
Oh, yeah, for their very first concert, which, get this, was held at a Sandinista rally in Central Park.
Seriously? A Sandinista rally?
Mm-hmm. And for that one show, they performed as El Grupo de Rock and Roll.
El Grupo de Rock and Roll.
Which is literally just Spanish for the rock and roll band.
That's incredibly pragmatic and kind of hilarious.
Completely unromantic, right? Which is funny in itself. It definitely sets the stage for how they divided things up later. Let's look at those roles they carved out. How did that partnership actually work day to day?
Well, the foundation was pretty straightforward initially. You had Flansburgh on rhythm guitar, lead vocals, songwriting.
And Linnell on accordion, keyboards, woodwinds, lead vocals, also songwriting.
Right. And crucially, for those early years, the third member wasn't a person. It was a drum machine. Or sometimes a pre-recorded backing tape.
Right, the tape deck years.
Exactly. And Linnell, he clearly operates as the, let's say, technical and conceptual engine of the band.
How so?
He focuses on the technical side, those sophisticated chords, the complex rhythms, and those just relentlessly catchy melodies.
Can't get them out of your head.
Never. And his lyrical themes are so specific, centering on wordplay, personification of inanimate objects.
Like Birdhouse in Your Soul.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
Or aging, delusional narrators, unreliable perspectives, often even death. But he juxtaposes those dark or really esoteric subjects with these incredibly bouncy, upbeat pop arrangements.
Right, it's that contrast that's so key.
Definitely. Like a Linnell track, Anna Eng, which we'll get to later. It's a whole conceptual puzzle wrapped in 3 minutes of pop.
Okay, so Linnell's the conceptual engine. What about Flansburgh?
Flansburgh seems to be the strategic and managerial center. He's the one handling the big picture cultural context, the promotional strategy, managing the live show production.
The business side, kind of?
More than just business, though. It's the overall vision, the presentation. And his songwriting often mixes that absurdist satire, think boss of me, with these moments of surprising earnestness or even romantic introspection.
So they balance each other out perfectly.
It really seems that way. Organizational practicality meets conceptual depth.
And that dive into organizational practicality, mixed with a bit of desperation, led directly to their first really big technological innovation, the thing that defines their whole legacy, maybe.
Oh, absolutely. Which brings us right into section 2, the revolutionary experiment, Dial-A Song.
Dial-A Song. It's almost mythological for TMBG fans.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's critical to understand, like we hinted, this wasn't some grand strategic marketing plan cooked up in a boardroom.
No, it came out of problems, right?
Pure necessity. Physical limitation, actually. This concept emerged around 1985. During this forced hiatus, Linnell had broken his wrist in a biking accident.
Ouch.
Yeah. And Flansburgh's apartment had been burgled, stuff stolen. So they couldn't reliably play live shows for a bit.
So what did they do instead of just stopping?
Instead of going silent, Flansburgh and Linnell leveraged the most ubiquitous piece of consumer tech they could find back then, the telephone answering machine.
An answering machine. With the little cassette tapes.
Exactly. They recorded new songs onto a cassette, popped it in the machine, and just started promoting the phone number.
Which was? Do we have it?
Oh, yeah, it's legendary. 718-387-6962. They'd put it in local papers like the Village Voice.
So anyone could just call up and hear a new TMBG song?
Pretty much. It was this immediate, super low-tech, direct-to-fan thing, operating 24/7. The machine played one track at a time. But the content wasn't just polished album stuff.
What was on there?
It was a chaotic mix. Demos, half-finished ideas, band updates, weird mock advertisements, whatever they'd been working on most recently. It was literally like a free daily radio show that the band controlled completely.
That's genius. But I bet the line was busy a lot.
Constantly busy. And the machines themselves were always wearing out from the constant playback and rewinding. But that technical flaw
Became a strength.
Totally. It became their greatest marketing hook. They coined that famous self-deprecating slogan, always busy, often broken.
Ah, I love it.
And they paired it with that legendary, really mischievous marketing line.
Oh, I know this one. Free when you call from work.
That's the one. Classic TMBG. Encouraging office workers everywhere to use the company phone to listen to their quirky music.
It's a clever little anti-establishment wink, isn't it? And it obviously resonated.
It fostered this immediate personal connection that traditional media just couldn't replicate back then. And there's this incredible anecdote that shows the level of engagement.
Go on.
The answering machine itself, the tape, actually recorded a conversation between two listeners who were calling in. They were discussing the service, wondering how on earth the band made any money from it.
And TMBG heard this.
Yep, and the clip was so good, so meta, they later used it as a hidden track on one of their EPs. They literally incorporated their audience's reactions into their official output.
That's amazing fan interaction before that was even really a term.
Exactly. And the success of Dial A Song, it was foundational. It let them bypass the whole traditional demo submission process, build buzz grassroots style.
Which is how they got noticed by Bar-None Records.
Precisely. And secured the release of their self-titled debut album in 1986. Dial A Song was the engine.
But those poor answering machines, they couldn't last forever.
No. As the 90s wore on, the limitations just became too much. Physical cassette tapes, constant rewinding, playback. The machine started failing constantly.
Did they try to upgrade?
They did. They attempted to switch to digital answering units, but apparently those frequently crashed too. The strain was just too intense. The original low-tech model basically died of old age around 2006.
And the number went dead.
The number was officially disconnected in 2008. The end of an era, sort of.
Sort of, but knowing them, they didn't just see it as an end, did they? They just jumped ahead again.
Exactly. This technical death just pushed them into becoming digital distribution pioneers instead.
How so?
Well, they were really early adopters of podcasting. They essentially replaced the phone line concept with promotional podcasts, moving that idea episodic, direct-to-fan content onto the internet.
Okay, makes sense.
But even more critically, back in 1999, this is huge. They Might Be Giants became the first major label recording artist to release an entire album.
Long, Tall Weekend.
That's the one. Exclusively in the MP3 format, through eMusic.
1999. That was radical then. The industry was terrified of MP3s.
Absolutely terrified. They were fighting Napster tooth and nail.
Yeah.
And TMBG just went, you know what? We'll just sell the album directly as files.
Yeah.
It was an incredible piece of strategic foresight, controlling their own product, their own distribution.
Telling the industry, we don't actually need your plastic discs and trucks to get a full album to our fans.
Pretty much. Just gutsy.
So Dial A Song goes quiet, but then it comes back.
It does. The idea was just too potent, too central to their identity to leave dormant forever. In 2015, Dial A Song was reactivated. They called it Dial A Song Direct.
New number.
Yep, a new toll-free number this time, 844-387-6962. And they came back with this staggering commitment.
Oh yeah, the song a week thing.
Releasing one brand new song every single week for the entire year of 2015.
That's insane output. That's like professional athlete levels of intensity for musicians.
It really is. And that commitment, that fire hose of new material, it formed the basis for later albums like Glean and Phone Power.
And they did it again in 2018, right? Another year of weekly songs.
They did. The lesson, I think, for any creative person today is just crystal clear. Consistency and that direct audience access, it can trump traditional gatekeepers every single time.
Which leads us perfectly into their actual commercial breakthrough, powered by that dedicated fan base they built. Section 3. Commercial breakthrough and the expanding lineup.
Right. That intense direct relationship they fostered through Dial A Song, it really did provide the necessary launch pad for them to break through into the mainstream rock world, legitimately.
That initial success came with the '86 debut on college radio. But the visual element was key too, wasn't it? The video for Don't Let's Start.
Oh, huge. That video, filmed at the iconic, slightly decaying 1964 New York World's Fair Pavilion in Queens.
Those weird towers.
Yeah, it was an absolute hit on MTV back in 1987. It really put them on the map visually.
And that choice of location is so perfectly TMBG, isn't it? This monument to optimism and futurism, now kind of quietly falling apart.
Exactly. It's like a backdrop that mirrors their whole vibe, blending upbeat melodies with a hint of existential dread or decay.
Their second album, Lincoln, from '88, named for their Massachusetts hometown, that really cemented their success. It had the single Anna Men.
Right. Anna N. That track climbed to number 11 on the U.S. modern rock chart. Big college hit. But we need to talk about the lyrics, the concept behind that song.
Okay. It's about a pen pal.
Ostensibly, yes. It's presented as a meditation on a long-lost pen pal, a woman in Vietnam named Anna Ang. But the lyrical puzzle is pure Linnell high concept.
How so?
Flansburgh explained it once. Apparently, Linnell looked at a globe and literally calculated that if Anna Ang was in Vietnam, the geographical point directly opposite her on the globe, the antipode, the viewpoint of the narrator writing the song, would be somewhere in Peru.
Wow, so it's this intellectual exercise about distance and connection.
Disguised as a ridiculously catchy pop song. Vintage Linnell.
That's success, LinkedIn success, that's what got them the major label deal, right? With Elektra Records in '89.
Yep. And that deal, of course, led directly to their platinum-certified magnum opus.
Flood, 1990.
Flood was just inescapable for a while there. It had huge charting singles like Birdhouse in Your Soul.
Such a great song. Metaphorical masterpiece, as you said.
Totally. And their ridiculously popular cover of Istanbul, not Constantinople.
Everyone knew that one.
Everyone. The success of Flood, it really broke them out of just the college radio bubble and pushed them into genuine mass culture.
And wasn't there a cartoon connection around then, too?
Oh, yeah. Huge boost. Warner Bros. Animation created 2 absolutely beloved cartoon music videos for them on Tiny Toon Adventures.
Right. For Istanbul and Particle Man.
Yeah, Particle Man, Particle Man. Those videos instantly established them as something cool that appealed to sophisticated adults and kids who just dug the surreal animation and catchy tunes. Huge crossover moment.
But signing with Elektra, a major label, it didn't seem to dull their innovative spirit, did it? They kept experimenting.
Not at all. In fact, they continued using the album format itself as this kind of playground for experimentation. Take 1992. TMBG gets named Musical Ambassadors for International Space Year.
Seriously, that's a title.
Isn't it? And that inspired their next album, Apollo 18.
Okay, Apollo 18, this is where we get the legendary track. Or tracks,
Yes.
Fingertips.
Fingertips. Which wasn't just a song. It was more like a conceptual art piece designed specifically to mess with the then-new CD technology.
Specifically the shuffle feature on CD players.
Exactly. Fingertips was actually made up of 21 separate, extremely short tracks. Most are under 10 seconds long.
Like little musical thoughts.
Little bursts. And they were designed so that if you put your CD player on shuffle, these tiny tracks would be randomly interspersed between the album's main full-length songs.
Creating total chaos for the listener.
Oh, yeah. A chaotic, unpredictable listening experience that was entirely dependent on the digital hardware you were using. They were forcing the listener to engage with the physical medium, the CD itself, in a way no band had really done before.
It's like a bold piece of anti-album sequencing, using the technology against itself, almost.
It really showed they viewed the CD not just as a container for music, but as this interactive device they could play with.
Okay, so after Apollo 18, there's a big shift in their live sound, right? They ditched the tapes.
Yeah, that was a fundamental change. They finally transitioned away from using those recorded backing tracks for live shows and recruited a full backing band, a proper rock band setup.
And Flansburgh stopped playing bass live.
Right. He moved away from playing bass live, focused entirely on guitar and vocals, let the new guys handle the rhythm section.
And that shift, you can really hear it on the next album, can't you? 1994's John Henry.
Oh, definitely. John Henry was a distinct departure. Much more conventional rock sound, louder, way more guitar heavy.
Some fans probably felt it diluted their original weirdness, maybe.
You know, it's a fair point to raise. Some did feel that way. But you could also argue it was a necessary adaptation.
How so?
They were playing bigger venues now, post-flood. They needed a sound to fill those rooms. And they were also responding probably to the prevailing sounds of the mid-90s, like grunge.
Right, flannel was everywhere.
Exactly. But crucially, even with a more conventional rock sound, they were still writing deeply unconventional songs. Lyrically, conceptually. They proved they could handle that sound, but still be TMBG.
So it solidified them as adaptable, not just a gimmick band.
I think so. It showed they were a durable entity. And that transition also led to the current core backing lineup, solidifying not long after. The guys who are still with them today, providing that horsepower live.
That's Dan Miller on guitar, Danny Weinkauf on bass. They joined around 98.
Roughly, yeah. And then drummer Marty Beller replaced Dan Hickey in 2004. And those three, Miller, Weinkauf, Geller, they've been the bedrock of the live TMBG experience ever since.
And having that solid band infrastructure, that probably allowed them to really capitalize on their next massive mainstream cultural moment.
Ah, yes, the song that everyone, even people who don't know they know TMBG, probably knows.
Boss of Me.
That's the one. Penned and sung by Flansburgh.
Yeah.
Became absolutely synonymous with early 2000s television.
As the theme song for the huge hit show Malcolm in the Middle.
You're not the boss of me now. It was a monster hit, charted internationally, and critically, it won the Two Johns a Grammy Award.
Right. Best Song Written for Visual Media, 2002.
That's a huge mainstream accolade, especially for a band that always kind of cultivated this image of being happily outside the mainstream.
And that Grammy, that exposure, it opened the floodgates for TV work, didn't it?
Totally. They became the go-to composers for smart, quirky media. They performed the theme for The Daily Show.
Which was actually written by Bob Mould, right? From Husker Du.
Correct. Composed by Mould, performed by TMBG. But they also composed the theme and the famous Hot Dog song for Disney's Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Hot dog, hot diggity dog. My kids love that.
Everyone's kids love that. And their music is scattered all over animated shows like The Oblongs, Dexter's Laboratory, Courage the Cowardly Dog. They just became ubiquitous in that space.
Their ability to just pivot so seamlessly from being these adult alternative rock innovators to becoming Grammy-winning children's educators and pop culture humorists.
It's just a testament to their incredible versatility, isn't it? Which brings us nicely to exploring that diversification strategy even further.
Right. Section 4, diversification and solo ventures. This really shows their strategic depth, building these parallel creative empires. And the most startling pivot, maybe, was into children's music.
Yeah, and it wasn't just like a one-off album. They went all in. They've released 5 full children's albums now, starting with No back in 2002.
Did that cause any backlash from the original fans? Like they sold out to the kids market?
There was probably some initial skepticism, yeah. You always get that. But the Johns were really skillful about maintaining the core TMBG sensibility.
That's the key, isn't it? How did they manage that?
Well, they didn't patronize their young audience. That's crucial. They still used sophisticated vocabulary, complex ideas. They tackled subjects like science and math with the same intellectual rigor and quirky humor they'd apply to, songs about historical figures or failed romance for adults.
So it appealed to the parents just as much as the kids.
Exactly. Parents weren't bored listening to it. And the quality control was high. This led to serious recognition. They partnered with Disney Sound for releases like Here Come the ABCs and Here Come the 1-2-3s.
And those did really well. Didn't one win a Grammy?
Here Come the 1-2-3s, which came out in 2008, won the Grammy Award for Best Musical Album for Children in 2009.
Wow.
And the follow-up, Here Comes Science from 2009, that was nominated too. So this wasn't just some novelty side project for them. It was a fully credentialed, high-quality, award-winning output stream.
Okay, so the kids' music empire is huge. Now let's look at their solo ventures, because those really highlight their individual personalities, don't they? Starting with Linnell's highly conceptual, often quirky stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Linnell's State Songs project is just conceptually brilliant and totally eccentric.
That started as an EP first.
Yeah, an EP in 1994, then expanded into a full album in 1999.
Yeah.
And the whole premise is this deliberate misdirection. U.S. states feature prominently in the song titles, the choruses.
Right, like Maine, Idaho, South Carolina.
Exactly. But the actual narratives of the songs have virtually zero connection to the state itself.
Okay, give us some examples. They sound fantastic.
Okay, well, consider Montana. It's not about big sky country at all. It's actually the insane, deranged ramblings of a person who's apparently about to die.
Cheery.
Right? Or Idaho, which hilariously references that famous incident where John Lennon, supposedly under the influence of hallucinogens, became convinced he could drive his actual house, like steer it down the road.
Okay, that's amazing. What about South Carolina?
South Carolina is about someone achieving immense wealth, like buying everything after suffering an unfortunate bicycle accident.
It's all just pure Linnell. Highly technical music, delivering these delusional, wordplay-heavy, completely tangential narratives.
Exactly. It's his signature, distilled. And he takes the academic route, too, sometimes. Remember in 2021, he just dropped the Roman Songs EP?
Oh, yeah. Original music, but sung entirely in Latin.
Entirely in Latin. Yep. That move just confirms his deeply conceptual, almost scholarly approach to composition sometimes. It's wild.
And didn't he pop up in a movie soundtrack, too? Singing?
He did, in a classic TMBG-adjacent kind of way. Linnell provided the singing voice for the other father character in that brilliant stop-motion animated film, Coraline, back in 2009.
Oh, right. And TMBG wrote the song for that scene, too, didn't they? The other father song.
They did. It all connects.
Okay, so that's Linnell's quirky genius. Now we shift over to John Flansburgh's side ventures, and his seem to lean more towards the strategic, the entrepreneurial, maybe?
Definitely. Flansburgh's main side band project was Monopuff. They put out 2 full-length albums, a few EPs, mostly in the late 90s. But yeah, his business drive is really what sets his solo stuff apart. He actually ran a subscription-based record label for a while called the Hello Recording Club.
Ah, okay. That's another direct line back to Dial A song, isn't it?
Absolutely. Flansburgh was constantly innovating ways to bypass traditional retail, maintain that direct-to-consumer relationship, subscription models, mail order, long before things like Patreon or Kickstarter were even a glimmer in anyone's eye.
Always ahead of the curve on distribution.
Seems like it. And he also took on significant production and directorial roles outside TMVG. He directed music videos for other cool artists like Ben Folds 5, Soul Coughing.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that.
Yeah. And he produced Jonathan Colton's big album, Artificial Heart. He's really an artistic polymath, operating both creatively and structurally, managing projects.
And he even ventured into theater.
He did. In 2004, he produced and actually starred in an off-Broadway musical called People Are Wrong.
People Are Wrong. Great title.
Isn't it? And notably, it was co-written by his wife, the musician Robin Goldwasser. They got married in '96.
So he's constantly busy. Has he done solo music recently?
Yep. Just last year, 2023, he released a solo EP called Forest Trees.
Still going strong. So these solo projects, they really highlight the freedom within the TMBG partnership, don't they?
I think that's exactly right. Each John clearly has the space and support to pursue these highly ambitious, really distinct projects, while that core creative relationship with TMBG just keeps rolling along.
Which brings us to thinking about them as individuals, their resilience, and their overall legacy. Section 5, personalities, resilience, and legacy.
Yeah, and here's where some of those little biographical nuggets really add texture to the legend. They reveal the unique public profiles, the quirks of the 2 Johns.
Okay, you have to start in the People magazine thing for Linnell. That's just too good.
Oh, we absolutely must. John Linnell's completely bizarre, yet utterly hilarious run-in with mainstream celebrity culture back in 1998.
He somehow ended up in their most beautiful people list.
Not just on the list, he finished 9th. In the online poll they ran, he finished ahead of actual celebrities like Sarah Michelle Gellar.
9th most beautiful person online. 1,000 votes behind Madonna, apparently. So how did the guy who writes songs about, personified thermostats react to being suddenly declared beautiful by the internet?
Predictably. He seized the moment to be brilliantly analytical about it. He wrote an op-ed piece for the New York Times.
Of course he did.
Using his experience to critique the inherent absurdity of online celebrity voting, he pointed out, completely deadpan, that he had been soundly beaten for the #1 spot by Hank the Angry Drunken Dwarf.
Oh my God, from the Howard Stern show.
That's the one. So Linnell's basically saying, look at this system.
That is TMBG in a nutshell, isn't it? Taking this completely bizarre, lowbrow pop culture moment and turning it into high-minded, self-aware social commentary.
Perfectly put. He specifically questioned the whole idea of using internet voting for, like, actual public officials. Joking that if his experience was any guide, we might end up with, and I quote, Shecky Green running the country.
It's just a perfect example of his brain applying intellectual analysis to the utterly ridiculous.
While Linnell was busy skewering celebrity polls, Flansburgh has generally been a bit more outwardly vocal about his own views.
Yeah, he seems more comfortable being direct, considers himself politically leftist, publicly supported Bernie Sanders, less analytical distance, maybe more direct engagement.
Right. And it's also worth diving into the technical side, the actual instruments they use, because that's so key to the TMBG sonic identity.
Okay. Flansburgh's guitars, he's left-handed, plays them upside down.
Well, he plays left-handed models. He uses a range of really cool classic guitars. There's a red Gibson ES-335, a sonic blue Fender Telecaster, a candy apple red Fender Jazzmaster.
Nice collection. But isn't there a custom one? The gold one?
Ah, yes, the most fascinating one. His custom-made gold Mojo guitar, known affectionately as the Chessmaster.
Chessmaster, why?
Because he personally designed the body shape.
Ah.
And get this, he based the geometric shapes on the outlines of old guitar cases.
What? That's amazing. That perfectly connects his Pratt Institute art degree right back to his main stage instrument. That's so Flansburgh.
Isn't it? And then Linnell's instrument profile is just essential TMBG sound. It's that constant presence of the accordion.
The signature sound, really.
Absolutely. Plus various keyboards, the baritone and bass saxophone, the clarinet. It's that mix that creates their distinct, almost manic, definitely anti-rock sound. That fusion of polka, jazz, rock. You know it the second you hear it.
And their activity level, it's just been relentless for decades.
Right.
But that endurance has required really resilience, hasn't it? Especially recently.
Yeah. After navigating all the tour postponements and chaos from the COVID-19 pandemic, like every other band, they faced a really terrifying personal challenge back in 2022.
The accident, yeah.
June 8th, 2022. John Flansburgh was in a rideshare, traveling home after a show, and they were hit by a drunk driver.
Oh, God. Was it serious?
It was a severe collision. He suffered several broken ribs, and apparently many of those ribs had multiple fractures. Required significant recovery time. It sounded really bad.
That's incredibly scary. Just awful.
It was a very close call, clearly. But the determination of the two Johns, it's just evident in how they handled it. They immediately postponed the tour dates, gave Flansburgh the time he absolutely needed to recover fully.
Right.
And then, as soon as he was able, they regrouped and got right back to their demanding performance schedule. It just demonstrates this incredible professional toughness that really matches their longevity.
4 decades and still going. It's stunning.
What's the total output now?
It's staggering. 23 studio albums, they've sold over 4 million records. And the pace just shows no sign of stopping.
Still getting recognition too, right? The recent Grammy nomination.
Yeah. Their 2021 album, Book, was nominated for a Grammy just last year in 2023. But not for the music.
The packaging.
For Best Boxed or Special Limited Edition Package, which just shows that even their album packaging is considered high art and innovative. Everything they do has that level of thought.
Incredible. Which brings us, I think, to our final takeaway.
Yeah, wrapping it all up. Okay, so what does this all really mean? The story of They Might Be Giants is clearly not just about alternative rock history. It feels more like a comprehensive blueprint for how to have independent creative success, especially in the 21st century.
I think that's exactly right. TMBG is fundamentally defined by that strategic and creative symbiosis you see between Flansburgh, the organizational visionary, the promoter, the strategist, and Linnell, the meticulous, conceptual, often eccentric songwriter.
2 halves of a very unique whole.
Definitely. And their massive legacy really rests on 2 main pillars, I'd say. First, that revolutionary grassroots fan engagement they pioneered way back with Dial A Song.
Built their audience directly.
And second, just their incredible creative adaptability, that ability to pivot successfully from being these quirky alternative rock innovators to becoming, Grammy-winning children's educators without ever sacrificing their core, witty, intelligent identity.
They're the band that could effortlessly blend these really high-concept ideas like that 21-track shuffle feature on Apollo 18.
Which was mind-bending back then.
With something as wonderfully low-tech and accessible as a telephone answering machine. They just controlled their own destiny by building their own direct communication channels.
Whether it was through early telephony with Dial A Song, or early MP3 distribution when no one else dared, or those subscription record clubs, they always found a way around the gatekeepers.
It really is a masterclass, like you said at the start, maintaining that strong creative vision while constantly adapting to every new wave of technology or cultural shift.
They've done it all, haven't they? From using cassette tapes for backing tracks to releasing the first major label MP3-only album, from writing educational songs about science to putting out entire EPs sung in Latin.
So, given this relentless commitment they have to new output and their whole history of pioneering completely new ways to connect directly with listeners, ways beyond traditional streaming or even telephony, what do you think they'll pioneer next? What new medium is out there for TMBG?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Will we see, like, a TMBG album embedded directly into an augmented reality game, or a song that's built into an AI prompt somehow?
Who knows? With them, anything feels possible. They have proved, time and time again, that they will always find the giant hiding in the windmill. They'll find the next thing.
Something for you, the listener, to definitely ponder as you maybe go back and revisit the gigantic, often hilarious, always interesting catalog of the 2 Johns.
A worthy endeavor.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
Our pleasure.
We'll catch you next time.